Happy Facebook Live Wednesday. I got my candle. This time there is a specific reason why I'm using my candlelight gazing technique, because we're going to be talking about focusing, how to improve your kids' memory, and how do you motivate them to study. So as I blow out this candle, I want you to listen to this song that I found called I Don't Really Want to Do the Work Today. So listen to it for a couple seconds.
Do the work today. I don't really want to do the work today. I don't really want to do the work today. I don't want to do the work today. What? What's this? Uh-oh. I don't really...
Is that what you hear a lot? You might not hear it, but you see physical evidence of your kids not wanting to do the work. Oh my gosh, it's the memory expert that I interviewed. Thank you so much. Anyway, working memory. I wish I should have the memory expert share this, but my whole purpose is helping parents with their challenging, right? The challenging journey of parenting involves helping your kids know how to study. Have you ever taught your kids how to focus, what it means to focus, how to study, what it means to study, and how do you remember things? I recently asked a 4-year-old, what does it mean to focus? And I was surprised at what he said. He's 4. He said, focusing means not moving around, being quiet, and really listening and doing my work. And I said, do you focus? He goes, I have a hard time focusing, but I'm young. So that's probably why I have a hard time focusing. And I said, even me. I said, hey, Rena, memory expert, I am 56 and I have a hard time focusing. It's not just young kids. And he goes, really? I go, yeah. So he's been taught by his grandma the importance of mindfulness and meditation. And those of you who have kids who might just roll their eyes, try it, but make it fun. Call it like the candle gazing game. Call it, like closing your eyes and picturing yourself just being in space, in black space, and just breathing for just 30 seconds. If you can reach a minute, that's great. But even if it's 5 deep breaths, and I have an exercise where they're envisioning, inhaling, right? And they're envisioning their stomach being the balloon, and they hold it, and they let it go. And so I've been doing this with my 4-year-old, and I'm realizing I'm not doing it with my virtual students, but I am planning to do a workshop. It's 3 hours, but it's an hour and a half each day. My tutoring fees are normally $65 for an hour and a half. So for these 3 hours, it would normally be $130, but I'm offering a $49 workshop to just recharge and get ready for 2021, because I know that a lot of the kids doing the distance learning are not doing well. They're failing. They're not motivated. So I wanted to explain what working memory is. It's so important, and a lot of the kids who haven't strengthened their concentration muscle are having difficulty with their working memory, with motivation, and just showing up during distance learning. Well, they might show up physically, but they're playing video games, they're being distracted. They might be watching the many little squares during their distance learning classes, but not really retaining and not being interested, right? When things are fun, video games, anything that they love, concentration is super easy, right? But when it's really difficult, boring, or you just don't see any value in paying attention, it is difficult. Have you ever tried doing your taxes with excitement, or just doing a load of laundry and just saying, I can't wait to do laundry today. I have 10 loads. No, unless you're really into laundry. So I would like to invite you to get out of your comfort zone, because what I'm about to share as an incentive might not be something that you're open to, but I want to offer it as an experiment, because those of you who only offer the video game incentive just on weekends, right? If they do their work, if they're caught up, then you can play video games on the weekend. So, what happens to the child who is behind 20 plus assignments? Will they never play video games? So, be open minded. What I'm about to suggest is to shorten the amount of time that your child is actually studying and explain what studying means. It's not just staring at it, scribbling, trying to do the word problem, but you don't really know how. So, you just kind of guess. I have a lot of that with my students, and so I break it down and I have a timer and I say, you know what, let's just work for 5 minutes. With you, if your kids are really behind, just say, you know what, let's focus and do 2-word problems or maybe one assignment, and then you can play a video game for 10 minutes. And they're going to look at you like, what? Especially if you forbid video games during their school week. But would you rather have a solid hour of work and concentration and productivity? Yes, it will include an hour of video games when you total up the time. But if you have 15 minutes of schoolwork where, no phones, no electronics, nothing, you can maybe play some, I call it smart music, some classical music. So there's just something that their minds can kind of like relax. Have them do the candle, blowing out your birthday candle, your pretend birthday candle. I believe in essential oils, peppermint, sometimes just putting it on their wrist, right before they start working. You inhale it, smells really nice. Lavender maybe, I like peppermint. And just tell them, just 15 minutes, and then you can play 15 minutes of video games. Then you go back, 15 minutes of academics, followed by 15 minutes of video games. In a day, you might have a whole solid hour of really just positive productivity, right? Yes, you will have to give up the control of no video games. And I have some moms who say, but I'm going back on my word. No, you are trying a new approach to improve their memory, improve their focusing, and improve their study habits. This workshop will include, I don't know if any of you have heard of Brain Gym. They're exercises that help focus, that help even with reading comprehension, even help boost their mood when they're feeling really, really crappy and unmotivated. Brain Gym, just short exercises. I'm going to teach about 5 of those exercises. Some of them are just doing lazy eights. With one hand and then another hand, and then you do it with both. But we can do it with their hands too. We can do energizing ears, and you just do this. But I'm going to explain and actually help them go through Brain Gym exercises. You folks can do something simple as, and I know Rena probably does this, like mini memory games. So I have a listening game that I do. They're all exercises, but just say the word game, and then they'll be more open to it. But you might say, I'm going to pretend to order pizza and other stuff, and you just need to remember. Hey, John, you just need to remember we're going through how you can teach kids and even ourselves, right? Practice this with your significant other, with your friends. So you pretend that you're placing a pizza order and maybe dessert, and you say, hi, and you make up a name. Hi, I'm Cindy Gibb, and I would like to place a pizza order. I want a double stuffed crust pepperoni pizza with extra olives and mushrooms. And on the side, I want some French bread crusts drizzled with mozzarella. And I would like a hot fudge sundae with cherry but caramel topping. And you let them imagine it, you let them sit with it, and then they just have to repeat it. That's actually a brain exercise. Or, I know Rena taught me one, where you say a sentence and every word cannot have a certain letter, like maybe the letter N. And then you think of words. When they're little, they can just think of words. Can you name me a word that actually, when you're teaching phonics, that has a short A in it? Cat. Can you make a rhyming word? 5 rhyming words, and then I want you to remember those words. When they're little, I show them pictures. Picture of a cat, a hat, a bat, a mat, And then sometimes I have them make a story, and then they have to repeat it. With older kids, I have them list 10 states and think about it, and then they have to repeat it back. You can do this with a list of actual items. Get a roll of toilet paper. I did this with my first virtual tutoring session. I had toilet paper, an apple, a spoon, a candle. You just get 10 items and everyone looks at them, right? Then you take the items away and they list how many they can remember. It's more fun when they make a story out of it because it'll get the list of items in their working memory. So I am just so passionate about the brain, but I don't think that we realize how to explain to kids how working memory works, the difference between short-term memory and long-term memory. Have you ever had this happen? You know, you talk to someone you've met, and then they say their name, and then they walk away, and you think, what was their name? I had my husband tell me so-and-so had a baby. And I said, what do they have? I don't know. I can't remember if it's a boy or a girl. And I'm thinking, you only had it's just 2 choices. I would picture, if someone says, oh my gosh, I had a baby boy named Brandon, I'd remember maybe picture blue and maybe picture the person's name. But like Rena says, say the name at least 3 times during the conversation. Oh my gosh, I bet Brandon is so adorable. And then, do you have a picture of Brandon? Wow, I can't wait to meet Brandon. But when you say it and you hear it and you actually maybe write it down if you have a chance, but sometimes we don't have a chance to write it down, but we definitely can say it. Sometimes I'll walk away and after I meet a new mom, I'm like, Helen. Okay, like Helen Keller. And then that is in my memory. But teaching kids how to study using index cards. My daughter's 4th grade teacher the whole class had A's and B's, but she believed in the power of index cards, writing either, the state capitals, writing science terms, writing anything, and then they're making their own study cards. I believe in making it colorful, using, different pens, different, even the brush pens now, the crayons, but make it fun, using mind maps. During this workshop, I will teach them how to study, assess their learning style, and really give them tools and strategies when they are bored. How do you get someone motivated when they have an exam on maybe, say, the quadratic formula, or they have an exam on grammar? They have a reading comprehension exercise on a book. You make it fun. And lately, I have been making an effort to either use your voice, and say, okay, how do you think the character sounds like? And they become this bunny, even though they're not a bunny, but I get the child to really get into it. And before you know it, they are repeating the answers to the questions. They are remembering. But the key to focusing is making it fun, but also explain how they do not want to have a mushy brain. My daughters were so tired of me saying, do you want a mushy brain? Because whether we went to Disneyland, whether it was Christmas break, spring break, fall break, a vacation, they needed to do some sort of daily brain exercise. And they hated it. But they wonder now if it helped them get through high school. My older one got through, her degree at Pepperdine, and sometimes it was hard, right? There's a lot of tears, a lot of feeling incompetent, but how to teach perseverance when things are boring and you keep getting maybe some F's in a certain subject that you're not strong in. How do you motivate them? And how do you really explain, how the mental muscle works? Because your brain is like a concentration muscle. And if we don't work to not only preserve it, but empower it to be productive, we're going to experience a lot of dysfunction. We're not going to remember even what assignments were assigned. I've had kids who, I just repeat any of 5 of these vegetables. And they're like, Okay, repeat 1. And they can't remember 1. but it's because when I'm saying it, they're probably thinking of, what am I going to have for lunch? Yeah, I wish I could play that video game. And teaching them that, we are having, 60,000 thoughts? Sometimes I think I have 60,000 thoughts in an hour. I think it is in an hour, but sometimes I think I have 120,000 repetitive thoughts, right? Like, I don't want to do this. Or, am I going to even handle Facebook Live today? Just little things, but mindfulness, that's the key thing I want. If there's one thing you do today, teach your children mindfulness. I will spend at least 10 minutes during the workshop both days practicing mindfulness and teaching what it is. It's the power to focus in the present moment. So when your teacher is saying, don't forget this important point, it will be on the exam, and you just miss those few seconds and you're doodling and you look up and she says, I hope you wrote that down because I'm not repeating it. And you go, oops. Or now teachers are doing a lot of verbal instructions, and sometimes it's fast, right? I want you to do page 60, numbers 1 through 3, 64, numbers 1, 7, and 9. I want you to take notes. Take a picture of the math problem, show your work, and submit it. Do you got that? Because I don't have time to repeat it. And you're thinking. So I encourage a lot of students to maybe record their distance learning classes. I mean, you can ask the teacher, but you might need something visual. You might need to listen to it again. And a lot of kids don't want to listen to it. Would you want to listen to, a 4-hour distance learning class? Probably not. Theirs is much shorter. It's like 40 minutes. But really take the time to teach them how to write fast notes so that they do not write every single word. So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is essential for academic success and outside of class, for real life success. What is mindfulness? What is just being aware? What is focusing? What is memory? I mean, these are all such interesting, to me, it just makes me so excited, which is why I'm probably talking a bit too fast. But I know Rena is passionate just as I am. She is a memory expert, and she is, I think, from Sweden, is it? I just for a split second forgot. But I wanted to really, give you guys that getting out of comfort zone opportunity to practice the 20 minutes of doing work, followed by, if you can't do 20 minutes of video games, do at least 10. But my daughters are like, Mom, you can't really do much in 10 minutes. So I said, okay, I'll try to convince them 20 minutes of work followed by 20 minutes of fun. Think about it this way. Right now, you're getting zero productivity with some of these kids, right? They're like 20-something assignments behind. They're averaging an F in a lot of subjects. So your choice is whether to get an hour of productivity, and they can do a lot in an hour. I'm surprised at how very productive these kids can be in an hour. My tutoring sessions are normally an hour. When I have siblings, they split 45 minutes, and we can do a lot because when I give them a 2-minute break, and sometimes I try to make the actual academics fun, but it's amazing how much productivity you can get when you're incorporating memory skills, exercises. I use the word games, and they'll tell me, Miss Karen, can we do the memory games? And it involves grammar, it involves states, it involves actual work, but sometimes it'll be vegetables, it'll be items. Say, can I do like animals and colors? Sure. Here are 10 animals. Can I make some up? Sure. And then we do a story. We have to throw in some very descriptive adjectives and exciting verbs. And then we wait a while because we want it to sit in there. If you wait 30 seconds, of course, most of them remember, but you wait maybe like 5 minutes and then you go back. But these are the exercises I wanted to remind you. Oh, also though, set a time so that they know. Get a timer, kitchen timer, your phone, so they know when the 20 minutes will be up. And then of course, make sure you set a time when the video game portion will be up. Otherwise, if you don't check on it, oh, well, you didn't tell me when to stop, Mom. It's been 2 hours. oh well. Then make sure you get that 2 hours of academic, not all at once. This is what I hear a lot of parents say. Just do your work, don't take breaks, just finish it and get it over with, then you can play. It is hard to do an hour of work. I tried editing for an hour, my 100 parenting tips inspired by the pandemic, because Sabrina, my oldest daughter, edited her book. She's doing letters to my future daughter. And you guys, I couldn't do it in an hour. So I did 15 minutes, and then I watched a funny YouTube video for 10. Then I did 20 minutes, and I would treat myself to a chocolate. I have a very short story. Chelsea's violin teacher played a 4-hour Harry Potter concert. And so she had to practice for 4 hours. She said every 15 minutes of playing, she took a bite of her favorite chocolate. She would play for 15 minutes, have a bite of her favorite chocolate. And that's how she lasted 4 hours of playing her violin. So think about it. Your kids don't have to do 4 hours of homework. If they're behind, I helped someone this past weekend, behind 21 assignments. I said, today, we're only going to work on math. It's a 4-day weekend. Let's just see what happens in 3 hours. And you'll be caught up. I didn't even mention having a break. I texted him. He finished the work. And I said, guess what? Take the entire day off tomorrow. Or actually, no, I said take the rest of the day off because it was only 6 at night and we'll resume the next day. But when the kids know that they have a definite, amount of time, when you say, do your homework, don't stop till you're finished. That's like a death sentence. Do your work just for 20 minutes and then you can have fun for 20 minutes, right? Text a friend, look at YouTube videos, TikTok, whatever it is. But what I wanted to briefly offer, because I didn't want to take too long to do this, because I want to bore some of you. Follow instructions, right? Hey, you know what? Today I want you to, and I always do this to my family, we're going to go to Costco without a list. And they're like, what? We're going to have to get potatoes, pick up grandma's medicine, get some vegetables like celery, asparagus, some fruit, apples, oranges, and bananas, and let's get some paper towels. Let's think of all of that. Remember it. Remember the letters. Come up with a story. They don't like to do this. We end up taking the list, but I always am curious to know how many items they remember. And talk about the items when you go, since you're not going to be able to look at your list unless you really have to. But paraphrase. When you tell your kids, I want you to wash rice, take a shower, brush your teeth, change into your pajamas. Okay, what did I just say? You might just have to do 3 things. Just brush your teeth, floss before, change into your pajamas, and get the book ready so that we can read a bedtime story if you have a little one. What did mom say? Get the book. What are the other 3 items? Repeat it. Talk about it. You're going to get your toothbrush ready. Put the toothpaste on. So you're going to brush your teeth first. What are you going to have to do? Brush my teeth. After that, I want you to get your pajamas and put it on. What are you going to have to do? Put my pajamas on. Then I want you to get the book and get into bed. Get ready to have me read a story. Now can you name me the 3 things? It takes a lot of patience. You will have to repeat. But in order to, you want to strengthen that concentration muscle, right? It will pay off if you do these little exercises, even if it is Sudoku. And there's a children's one. I have a preschool one that's only like I think 4 squares, and it's shapes instead of numbers. So they have to like do a heart. They might have to do a rectangle, a triangle, and look up free Sudoku preschool, free brain games preschool, or for an 8-year-old. And Brain Gym is free. So you can do Brain Gym exercises for concentration, Brain Gym exercises for reading comprehension, and practice them. 10 minutes a day has been shown to improve your IQ. 10 minutes a day. So I offer hour sessions, but during the hour, I split it up. So I'll do memory exercises, I'll do homework, I'll do some kind of fun creative writing exercise, then I'll do homework. and then I fit in a memory exercise. But I think if we incorporate this in our daily lives, every day, even on Christmas, even on your birthday, you'll see a big improvement in your child's academic success, in their focusing, in their ability to remember. I think we want, parents want our kids just to remember what we said, right? A lot of us are saying, did you not listen to what I said? I just said one thing, and you didn't do that one thing, which is your homework, and you haven't done it for 5 weeks, or whatever it is. But jigsaw puzzles, do small jigsaw puzzles, like make it fun. Do a big floor puzzle of the United States, of their favorite animal. Do memory matching games. Remember concentration with the cards? You can do memory matching games with anything. I have a matching memory game of multiplication. So it's like 5 times 7, but they have to find the 56. So they not only have to know the answers, they have to know where the answers are located. So you can make this up, right? Make up a memory game where you put your items on the table. Everyone has 1 minute to look at it. You take the it could even be colors of crayons, right? Be creative. It could be different utensils mixed with different spices. Get the pepper and the salt and the Tabasco and throw in maybe like jelly for something different. And do small items. You can do a ring. You can do a little golf ball. And have memory games on New Year's Eve. And adults can have a drinking game while they're doing their memory game. I mean, make it fun. Do not include the alcohol with your kids, of course, who are under 21. But just have fun with it. I do the listening exercise today. Just tell your kids, you know what? Let's all participate in this listening exercise and see what you remember. You start it, right? And then the kids have to remember what you said, plus add something, and then the other person has to repeat what you said, plus what their sibling said, and then what they said. Or you can just play it on your own. You're in the car. Okay, guys, I'm going to just tell you a 2-minute story and see what you remember. I'm going to give you 3 chores to do and see what you remember. The person who remembers all of them can have 15 minutes of video games or stay up for 15 minutes longer past their bedtime. Come up with incentives that work. Some of the incentives that you come up with, your kids do not find it as incentives enough for them to work. I'll close with an incentive that did not work. One of my students' dads, hey, Cool Hand Luke, one of my students' dads said, I'm going to kick you off the football team if you do not raise your grades. And during tutoring, he says, I don't care if I get kicked off the football team. My dad wants me to play, but you know what? I don't care. And I was like, well, I think your dad, and you have to talk about the incentive that you want. What do you want? I just want to stay in bed and play, 2 hours of video games. I said, would you do that if your grades went up? I mean, if you had to do that and you got that incentive and all you have to do is get like C's, because he was getting D's and F's, would you do something about it? Yeah, because I would get what I wanted. So keep that in mind. Sorry, I went overboard. This was a very passionate, if you can tell. I probably spoke way too fast. You might have to slow down if you want to watch this, or I should do a little quiz and say, name 3 things that I said, or 3 brain exercises that I suggested. But anyway, enjoy today, December 2nd, only 23 more days until Christmas. How many weeks would that be? And make that answer in a fraction. I think that's what I'm going to do with my students. But incorporate many brain activities in the midst of your daily routine. It's possible. I've done it. You only have 20 minutes left of tutoring. Oh my gosh, it's Stephen Frisbee. It's my student who's now in the military, married. Very, very impressive career in the Army, and he was in 3rd grade. He's one of my success stories. I've been doing this for 21 years, and when my kids are in their 30s, I feel really old. But anyway, thanks, Stephen, for popping in. I just want to wish everyone a happy holiday season. Incorporate memory exercises with your significant other and have fun while doing it. Thank you for watching, guys. And please tell people about my memory skills workshop. I just realized it doesn't only have to be for kids and students. If you want to improve your memory, your focusing, and just boost your overall performance, $49 for 2 days. We'll make it fun. December 28th and 29th. That is a Sunday and a Monday. But what better way to recharge for 2021? Just putting it out there. Thank you. Bye.